Hi. So I'm Ram Ramakrishnan, Managing Director and Business Direction Designer and a coach from GenSource India Private Limited. My organization has got about 350 plus years of experience in the areas of process excellence, people development, technology implementation, innovation, knowledge management, business finance management, admin, and facilities. We provide services on business direction services. For more detail, you can visit our site www.gensus.in. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Subramanian, a senior banker. He worked in State Bank of Mysore and State Bank of Hyderabad, now known as State Bank of India, for a span of 34 years. He has held various senior positions in the bank as head regional office, head zonal office, head of HR. He has vast experience in corporate banking, trade finance, foreign exchange. He retired as a deputy general manager from the bank in May 2014. Currently, he is a freelance financial advisor and consultant for various high-value corporate clients across India. He is also actively involved in education field launched by IBM under the head IBM Innovation Center for Education. He is regular visiting faculty on behalf of IBM for various universities, colleges to impart banking knowledge under T3 program, Train the Trainer. He is also regular visiting faculty for various training institutions of State Bank of India. Thank you very much, Mr. Subramaniam, for accepting my invite for this interview on things to consider for considering winning business proposal. And I'm sure many businessmen looking forward to this in current times. My first question to you is, you have more than 3 decades of banking experience. I request you to share some of the common mistakes business owner entrepreneurs do while submitting the proposal for finance.
Thank you, Mr. Ramakrishnan, for the nice introduction. See, you are right. Generally, the borrower submit the proposal and they say that my proposal is not considered, it is getting delayed, or it has been unnecessarily dilly-dallying the bank. But in my 30 years of experience, the rejection or the delay mainly because of the incomplete proposal or non-submission of the relevant data in time. See, it's like when a person is approaching a doctor or advocate, he has to give all informations, whether it is all relevant informations to the true and fair, he has to submit. Then only the proper diagnosis can be done for the required case. So like this also, when you go to the bank, be fair, be true, submit relevant information, whether it will be considered, whether it may be your production capacity, whether it will be competitors, whether your industrial relations in the company, or whatever, or your raw material sources, whatever may be the thing. You submit all the information in time and let it be correct and very detailed information. Further, the general tendency of the borrower is always borrower want to show high turnover and less profit. Okay, it is correct. As far as the borrower wants to continue the business on his own without approaching any investor or any lender, this is good because he is saving a lot of tax on that and he shows the net profit. But when you approach the bank, that will not work out. See, the bank will always see based on your turnover whether the profit is reasonable. Whether it is they are able to deliver when you are not able to give the correct good profit and so high turnover, the bank will think why at all you are doing the business. The common mistakes that lead to delay is incomplete project report with gaps, lot of gaps, and non-submission of the tax returns, non-submission of the credit score and bank account details, non-submission of cash flow statement. That is very important. Cash flow statement, the bank will assess your repayment capacity based on your cash flow statement. Non-submission of the full property documents. So when you are giving a property as a security, the property documents should be in full. So these are all some of the mistakes. So based on my 30 years, we have sanctioned several crores of rupees. I summarize. There are a lot of things are there to submit, but summarize this, avoid delay. The borrower has to submit the following things: correct audited financials for the past 3 years, correct projections with reasonable assumptions. How you are achieving the project, because all the projections, most of the facilities, let it be a working capital, let it be a term loan, your facility sanctioned based on your projections. The projections should be reasonable, and you have to give how you arrive the projections. Reasonable and realistic projections. All relevant factors like the unit, where it is, whether it's a leased unit or the owner owned land, whether the raw material sources whether it's available, how is your receivables position, whether it's getting delayed or you are getting it within 3 months, 2 months, full details of the property details of the project report. All these things you have to submit, and then once you summarize all these things and submit the project report, I'm sure the proposal will not be delayed, and the bank will come forward and give correct, good decision immediately. See, one thing you remember, any borrower has to remember, when you are approaching the bank is taking more than 75% or 80% of your business. So the bank's capital is more than your own capital.
Right.
So the bank always expect that the return should be reasonable. See,
Right.
as the borrower is making the business, the bank also making a business. When the bank, when you are making reasonable profit, the bank will definitely consider your proposals. I don't think there will be in that.
That's where I asked a question more than that. Now, what a document to be given, what mistakes we should avoid to know. That is most important for people to. Many times they don't do that. That's the reason I asked this as a first question. And you also broadly covered some of the format. What are some of the any format you recommend for them to following the business plan, or some key factor they need to consider in giving?
The bank to bank, customer to customer, activity to activity, the format differs.
Yes.
So there is no prescribed format for any borrower to submit to the bank at the time of first time approaching. But yes, you have to submit a detailed project report. The project report should contain general information about the unit, what is the activity you are taking up, what is your experience in the activity, and the executive summary of the directors, promoters, what is their qualification, what is their experience, how long in their activity, if they are new, how they are going to able to take up this business, organization summary, how would the organization is set up like that, project description, what type of project you are taking it with all data relevant. Suppose you are going for a project finance, or if you are going for term finance, whether it is for construction, whether it is for acquiring machinery, what type of machinery you are acquiring it, then when you are acquiring the machinery, where you are acquiring it, who is the supplier, and with the pro forma invoice quotations and the reasonable projections, how you and projections. Simply submitting projections will not suffice, and you have to give assumption how you are going to achieve these projections.
Yes.
Maybe you have some orders on hand, or some letter of intent, or some negotiations. So for new companies, I'm telling you. For existing companies, definitely will have orders and other things. For new companies, what is the inquiry you are having it? What is the marketing plan you have taken up? Capital structure of the company, management plan, financial aspects, project implementation. These are all the broad area, and once all these things will come out in the project report. The project report, these are the things you have to cover it, and with it, you have to prepare the profitability, your balance sheet, your debt service coverage, your break-even policy, break-even analysis, sensitivity analysis, all those things. With this information, you can easily bring it into the project report and submit it. That is sufficient for the.
Anyone preparing a business plan, definitely they do it for making profit and sustain the business, and they do not conceal any information and say that how they arrived and wanting to do the business properly. That's what will help. Great input on that. So in case there is someone acquiring company, what we are seeing is today in the current environment and other things, there are a lot of mergers and acquisitions likely to happen, and consolidation is likely to happen. Also, that is some of the thoughts are going on. What factor you recommend them to consider during the due diligence process? Basically, some of them will do acquiring a company or merging a company. What kind of a due diligence you recommend them to go through?
Due diligence is very important. Due diligence is nothing but going in deep to the company. Yes. You're acquiring it, their auditor, financial statement, they're investigating. All the details is very much important. But before going to due diligence, when you are going to acquire a company, anybody is going to acquire a company, first of all, whether he is having the interest and passion to do the business.
Right.
Otherwise, without that, if you simply this company is doing well, I will acquire it. And if you don't have experience and you don't have passion, definitely that unit you will not be in a position to run the unit. For example, if you wanted to start a hotel industry, you should have interest in passion, and you should also know something to cook.
Right.
Simply depend on the cook and other thing. Okay, you need not to cook every day, but at least you should know something. What is important? What is the demand? Like that, you should have a passion for that.
Right.
The most important step in merger and acquisition deal is due diligence. Yes, the process allows potential investor to dig into the company very detailed and find out what are the information to be acquired before acquiring the company. So broadly, due diligence can be 5 to 6 categories. For example, financial due diligence, business due diligence, environmental due diligence, corporate due diligence,
Yes.
Intellectual property due diligence, legal due diligence, financial due diligence, whether the company is being audited, the balance sheets are audited,
Right.
whether how is the company's progress is there, whether profitability is there, whether the dividend is being paid, whether shareholders are taken care of it. These are all financial diligence. Business intelligence, what type of business, what type of technology they are using it, whether even for a simple thing, what type of software they are using it, whether the software is suitable for you when you take up the business.
Right.
Environmental, whether the company is having a hazardous material, whether they have proper environmental clearance from the concerned authority. These are some of the things. Corporate due diligence, how is the companies set up, what are the directors, what are the shareholders betting, what is the key functionaries in the company. Intellectual property, whether the company is having any intellectual property rights, whether a patent is submitted and approved, whether any pending legal issues are there, whether government dues are pending, whether government has initiated any action. These are all the broad way you can do the due diligence. Yeah, due diligence, unless you do the proper due diligence, it's good in both the way for the buyer as well as seller. Buyer, whether he will know whether he is acquiring correct company. Seller will know whether the value quoted is correct when the due diligence is known.
That's great. I think you have given all-round inputs on the complete due diligence part of it. That would definitely help.
Financial and everything will go very detailed sometimes.
And there is some questions on the minds of small business owners will be there. Who all can get finance for business? Is it only established company, or can startup, or can get some kind of a funding, or can we get funding for growing the existing business? These are some of the questions which I thought you can respond that would help them.
There are plenty of opportunities for getting finance for both existing company as well as newly startup companies. There's no restriction for only it is for finance given to existing companies. Yes, existing companies may get quickly because already established a contact. Right. A little bit effort should be put up for the new company or startup companies. Yeah. But finance overall is available, and now you might be aware the government has come out with a very broad guidelines like 59 minutes loan. Right. Online, you can get it sanctioned 59 minutes, within 59 minutes, within 59 seconds, I think. So,
right.
That type of loan. And recently, government, already the existing 1 crore loan without any collateral free, without any guarantee available. That has been extended again. Because of the COVID condition, it has been further extended for additional limits for those availing from those who want to avail the facilities. All, but only thing is it depends upon the what is the business you are going to do, whether the business is acceptable, whether the business is getting some sufficient profit. The bank will only see that only. It will not see whether you are new or you are old one.
Correct. Do you have a clear business plan and how you are going to achieve and what you are going to do? And clear
business loan, I have Mudra Yojana loan, Bank of CGTM scheme loan, like that. Loans are there, but only you have to satisfy the bankers. The business which you are taking is having sufficient income, and it will definitely withstand the competition, and I am able to succeed in the business. That is the only thing bank will do that. There's no restriction. It can be given.
Yeah, that's a great input. Thank you for that. See, what are the something business owners to take care when you ensure the credit rating? This is one of the things that many a time the owners doesn't know. At the end of it, when they go for the credit rating, becomes one of the key factor. It become a surprise. Many times they question on I've been good and why it has happened. What are some key factors they need to take care to ensure their credit rating always in good and healthy?
The credit rating is a very important tool for anybody, either individuals or it is for a company, for anybody. This is one of the important tool for the bank when you before approaching the bankers. The bankers have both two types of credit rating. One is external credit rating. You can get it from Dun & Bradstreet. You can get it from various companies like that, various established credit rating companies. And another is internal credit rating, which will be done by the bank on its own. So both the credit ratings are very important. The main reason to maintain the credit rating is it's not only maintain, you have to improve the credit rating over a period of time.
Right.
Otherwise, the credit rating will deteriorate and naturally will be rejected, or you will get loan. For example, small credit card payment that will affect. You will have financial transaction will be very good. By mistake, or the MD might have given his secretary to pay the credit card bill, he might have missed it. 1 month credit card bill will affect the entire credit rating. So the credit rating is very, very important for the borrower. And the major key points which one should take care of for credit rating improvement is prompt and timely repayment. That is very important. Timely completion of the project. When you are taken on the project should be complete in time. If it is over, that's why before submitting the project, before finalizing the project, please ensure take sufficient time. So the once you delay the project, automatically it will slip into non-performing assets and it will affect the credit ratings. Increase in sales over the year, but at the same time increase in profitability over years.
Right.
Infusion of capital. Infusion of capital maybe by additional capital bring in or by plowback of the existing profit into the business. That will improve your debt service coverage ratio and your net worth gearing ratio will improve it. Maintain adequate long-term funds in this business. Don't divert the short-term funds to long-term fund. For short-term, for acquisition of fixed reserves, machinery, always have long-term funds. Either way of equity or through term loan you acquire it. Prompt and tie-up of the funds for increasing fixed assets. Good dividend payout history. These are all some of the points which you should think for improving the credit load. Keep only the required stocks. Don't give obsolete or old stock in the system. That will always affect the thing. Ensure prompt realization of the sales receivables. If it is beyond 6 months, that will affect our credit rating. Sales receivables should be within 3 months or 4 months, 5 months. You should improve the sales receivables. Timely payment of all statutory liabilities. That is very, very important. Your GST, your sales tax, your commercial tax, tax, income tax, pay timely, property tax, all those things pay timely. Return on capital, reasonable return on capital in applied. Quick turnover of the current assets. These are all the major points you should remember, keep in mind. Automatically your credit rating will go there. It depends upon the various ratios and the bank, it will be, the banks will have 100 banks as well as external rating agency. They will have 1 to 100 marks on that they will assess the credit rating, keeping all these parameters. See, the higher the credit rating, your chances of getting the facility either by from banks or through venture capital or through private replacement, it will be very bright opportunities there for you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much for all your inputs. In case someone wants to connect with you, maybe you would like to give your email ID so that they can.
Yeah, I'm doing a freelance financial consultant. I'm well versed in preparing project report. See, when I told all these things, when a company want to prepare a project report, naturally it's very difficult to chartered accountant idea will be different. Is balance sheet, the financial, from the banking point of view, what is the project report is required, that is different report. So we will prepare a project report and give it to you. And also we will tie up with the banks also loans, various type of loans as private placement, either is a loan or a private placement or venture capital. That also we are working on it. If anybody wants to contact, they can contact either through Gensource or through directly to my or subbu54 my Gmail ID.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
They can write to us also at info@gensource.in. We can connect with you.
You can direct it. You can also keep it as part of your business and you can.
How we can help the entrepreneurs and business owners at this difficult time. Everyone need kind of, we have brought in this 350 plus years of experience in the different areas wherein we can provide at one-stop shop services to them. That's what we are planning to do that and providing them. So that way it helps them easily. They can overcome the situation, restore, stabilize and grow. This thing is how the small and business owners and entrepreneurs can restore their business as quickly as possible, then stabilize, then start looking at how they can grow. For that, we have a unique art framework. That's what we will do that. So thank you very much for joining this interview, and there's a lot of good inputs. And I'm sure when people wanted to connect with you, we'll connect them to you on that so that we can help this small and medium entrepreneurs to overcome the situation. Thank you.
Thank you.